Hello, and welcome to the Wool and Twine Fiber Studio YouTube channel. My name is Jule, and I'm the dye and maker behind Wool and Twine Fiber Studio, which is a small creative space located here in northern Germany, where I play with botanical dyes and natural yarns. Welcome to a new podcast episode. It's been a while that I've updated you about my makes, and I have a couple of things to share with you that I wanted to, update you on what I've been doing and what I've been up to crafty wise. It's been a tough couple of weeks. To be fair, I have been on the road quite a bit, traveling for work, and I haven't had as much knitting time as I thought I would. So there is not a ton of things that I can share with you. However, I have a couple of things. And I still thought, I'd show up and share with you what my current makes are and what I'm planning to do. So first of all, what I'm wearing my Avenue tee, which is a pattern by Tori Yu of Tori Knits NYC, and it's this beautiful, super sleek and simple design, and it's very well fitting. And I made this one in my linen 4-ply, which is a blend of 75% blue face leicester and 25% unbleached flax fibers. So it's like a wool linen blend. And this is just perfect for transition pieces and, summery days like today, where we're going to get a lot of, I think, 28 degrees Celsius or something. So yeah, perfect for these kind of occasions. I'm wearing this one a lot and I really, really love it. So yeah, so far about what I'm wearing. And while we're talking about teas, I guess it's very fitting to start sharing my FO with you. So it's very fitting to share this after telling you what I'm wearing, but this is the Cosmopolitan tee, also by Tori Yu. And it's a recent release that she has put up, and this one is just so beautiful. It's this kind of simple but very well fitting tee, and has these stunning lace details on the sleeves that I think are just so pretty. Let me show you a bit more up close if I can. So yeah, you can see it's very nice, and it adds to the lightweight feel of this tee. So I believe it's a perfect summer piece. And as always, Tori's patterns are extremely well written, and they are very well done, and also very very well thought through when it comes to fit and garment construction. So I really love that. This is the back. It has these stunning shoulder details that I think are just so pretty. And yeah, then the lacy sleeves, and the rest of the body is pretty much just stockinette stitch. I'll make sure to also insert some clips of me wearing this one so you can get an idea of how it looks worn. But I really had a hard time keeping this, kind of polished and neat and not wear it a ton until I could have at least shared it with you, because it's just such a nice piece. And especially after blocking, the lace came out so nicely, and I could not be happier with how it turned out. It's just such a good pattern. I can wholeheartedly recommend. And there's also, I believe there is a shawl pattern with this kind of lacy motif that she also released with the Cosmopolitan tee. So I'll make sure to link everything down below, as well as my Ravelry project. I didn't make a ton of modifications. Just as always with the length of the body, I went for a little bit less length because my torso is very short. And in order for it to fit proportionally, I usually have to have slightly less length in the body pieces. But yeah, this is my Cosmopolitan tee. It's knitted in also in linen 4-ply, which is my kind of seasonal summer blend. And as I'm recording this, we even have some of it available, I believe. This one is the rose quartz colorway, and it's this kind of muted, soft pink beige. And for me, as a minimalist, this is just the perfect kind of summer color that is, a little bit of color, but still very muted and soft and neutral, kind of. So yeah, I'm already loving this one so much. It's such a good lightweight, as you can also see, and drapey, soft fabric. And yeah, that's obviously also part of it is also the yarn, because it's I think it's great for transitional pieces, even for transitional jumpers or something like that. But yeah, it's just a very nice and breezy piece to wear now that we're getting into the slightly hotter days here in the Northern Hemisphere. So yeah. So far about my Cosmopolitan tee. I could not be happier with this one. And as always, I will also be linking my Ravelry project down below, so you can reference yarn amounts and needle sizes. I believe this one was a 3.5 or 3.25. Sorry, it's been a while since it's finished. So I'm going to make sure to link everything in the Ravelry project so you can see it. But yeah, that is the Cosmopolitan tee, and I'm just incredibly happy with it. So without further ado, let me start sharing my works in progress with you. So for work in progress, there is actually just one at the moment that I can show, because another one is secret. But this one is almost finished, so I'm happy to share it one more time before it's actually done. So this one is the Terra Vest. I'm sorry it looks a bit awkward because it's really rolling up. But it is the Terra Vest by Joanne Fiel. She also is the designer behind my Terra cardigan that I made. I'm going to link the episode where I talk about this one as well. And she also made a vest version, and it's really cute because this is actually the back that I just showed you. This is the front. And the front is actually closed up, and then the back has, an opening that actually is closed with some bow ties. And I think whenever I saw her post about this first, I was like, I have to make this one. And then I had the perfect occasion because we got this new yarn that I am now showing to you. We got this new yarn, and I wanted to make something that would be, drapey and elegant with it. And very, kind of have some very elegant shaping, but also clever texture, so we can see how the yarn would hold up in a textured knit. And therefore, I decided to use this yarn for the test knit. This is the yarn. It's a new one that's going to be coming very soon to the shop. So yeah. I'm going to share more about it once we have finished everything about a launch, but this is how it looks. It's natural color, and it is a fingering weight. And I'm holding this one double to get to a DK weight gauge. So that is what I'm currently doing with this Terra Vest. The pattern is already out, so you should be able to get it at the moment. I'm going to link it down below, and also show more of my progress once we get further to the release of this yarn. But yeah, sorry it's a bit awkward because I'm in the middle of the row. That's where I left off. But this is the back, and this one's going to get, the bow tie closure. And then it also will be having a ribbed kind of collar that I still need to pick up stitches for and everything. But I think I will need to have a little bit of a try-on session later on again, but this is how far I've gotten with the body so far. And I think, yeah, I'm almost done with the body length before I can start with the ribbing for the finishing. So yeah, it's quite close to being finished, and I'm excited because it has been on the needles for quite a while, because I said I did not really have a lot of knitting time recently. But yeah, I hope to change that up soon. I hope to maybe manage to go on a holiday at some point, but who knows. So yeah, I just wanted to share the stitch pattern one more time. It's this very nice and simple slip stitch pattern where you actually, like every 4 rows, you have this kind of like slip stitch pulled over other stitches, and that creates this very nice texture. And it actually is really nice because it's it helps you count your rows so much more, because you know that these are always, it's a 4-row repeat. And I think it makes it quite simple to calculate and count the rows. So yeah, I'm incredibly happy with it right now. And I think if I manage to have a bit of knitting time this weekend, I think I should be getting to the bottom ribbing. And then maybe in the next episode, I will be able to show you my finished object. I'm kind of on the fence whether I want to make the bow ties, the flat type of bow tie that she's doing. She's doing them in just one strand of yarn. She's also using 2 strands, but then she uses 1 strand for the bow ties to make them a bit more, less heavy in fabric. Or if I would want to do an I-cord even. So I'm tempted. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll do an I-cord, put it on and see how it looks. And if I want to switch it up to the other type of bow tie, then I can still do that. However, I think I would love an even more delicate bow tie potentially. I do like the idea of having an I-cord. So let's see where I'm going to be going with this one. But yeah, it's my Terra vest and I cannot wait to wear this because apparently I was sharing a story on Instagram the other day in how I curate my sample knits and how I curate, ideas around samples and how I kind of envision how I would photograph them in the end. It's always a very clear vision for me from the beginning what I want the photo shoot to look like for a sample knit. And I get so many questions and reactions to that story, and I'm like, am I crazy for envisioning things very clearly from the beginning? I don't know, but what I definitely know is that I want to make another sample in this yarn that would go with the Terra vest, and for that one I want to use this color, and it is this beautiful rusty red, deep, moody, and I absolutely love it. And I think I want to make a small, I knew I wanted to make a small scarf that would go with, let me show them together, that would go with my Terra vest and then also with a white linen dress underneath. So that's kind of my vision. And so I want to use this skein and make a 1 skein project of it. Probably, I'm currently thinking to finally execute my plan and knit the Rollicke kerchief by Lacquer of Fiber Tales. So yeah, that is the current plan for my next cast on, especially also because the vest is getting quite big and I need another small project to work on while I commute to the studio and back. So yeah, this is also the new yarn that I'm going to be showcasing to you more in depth very soon. And I hope to manage to finish the Rollicke scarf to go with the sample shoot for this one. That would be quite exciting. So now I've kind of already transitioned into the knitting plans part of the video because these are actually the only projects that I currently can show you. And therefore, I thought I would also insert a little section into the video where I would chat you through what my making plans are for the next couple of months. Who knows if I'm going to execute them, but I definitely do have plans. So yeah, the small scarf in this new yarn is definitely one of the first cast-ons that I'm planning currently. And then I also got some yarn when I went to Woolly Good Edinburgh this year, which is a beautiful yarn festival organized by wonderful people in Edinburgh, and I got some yarn there, obviously. I mean, I tried to limit myself because, yeah, it's always, I do have a lot of yarn. But I think it's kind of nice to have a souvenir and kind of think back of the trip and everything when you get to wear the knit that out of the yarn that you're getting. And I got, sorry, they look a little bit messy, but I got these 3 skeins from the Border Mill. They had a booth and I've been wanting to try their yarn for a really long time. And I got these 3 now slightly messy cakes because they traveled with me. And my plan was, because I lost my mittens last year, I realized that I lost my mittens and we got a really cold winter and then I was left with no mittens. And I was thinking of, I know it's not a very seasonal knit in that sense, but I was thinking of doing something with these 3 skeins in a color work mitten, because I have been craving some color work lately for some reason. I'm not sure if that's like an anti-summer, really weird kind of craving, because I mean, it's time for the lighter knits at the moment, but I kind of craved some color work, and I saw these 3 shades together and I knew that I had to do something with them. So yeah, I think they look so good together, and I have not settled on a pattern yet, but I think it's going to be, you know, these 3 colors in some kind of way into a mitten. So if you have any pattern suggestions for, you know, a mitten pattern that features 3 colors, I would absolutely love to hear them, because yeah, that's just a very loose vision over here. I don't exactly know what to do with them, but yeah, I just really, really like these 3 colors together, and I think it's going to make a very nice pair of mittens. So yeah, so far about the border mill yarn. I should maybe mention what it is exactly. So it is their North Coast tweed yarn, and it is a pure Shetland 4-ply yarn. So I believe it's not, like, it looks more like a West spun yarn to me. So I believe it's not your traditional woolly Shetland. And this one is the colorway Conquer, very fitting. I do like that one. And it's 90 meters per 25 grams. So a relatively thin yarn weight. And I think it's going to be perfect knitted up in a like relatively tightly fabric into some mittens. So the medium brown I got is the color Chromaty. Well, not very good at pronouncing that one. And then we have the light cream color that is called Far Bay. So yeah, it's not like a proper cream. It's more like a light brownish beige with some, you know, it's not an ecru. It's more like an orangey rusty brown blown into a white ecru, if that makes sense. So. But yeah, so far about my little treasures from Woolly Good Edinburgh. Obviously, I mean, I was in the UK for 2 weeks, and I obviously did kind of vlog a little bit, and I have not come across, you know, finding the time to edit this one into a vlog. Let me know if you still want to see that, or if it's like, it doesn't make sense because it's too late now. But I did record some things, so maybe I should, in the end, I should actually share them. And about more plans, and speaking of Edinburgh, I kind of have established this tradition. I don't know how it actually came to life, but for some reason I end up always getting sewing patterns at Ginger Twist, which is a yarn shop in Edinburgh that I always love to visit every year when I'm there. And for some reason, they always have the patterns that I've been longing for in sewing, and they always have them in stock, and then I cannot resist, and then I get sewing patterns at theirs. So that's what happened again, and I think it's going to be sparking my sewing mojo quite a bit again, because I usually get a lot of inspiration for sewing in summer anyways, and I think I want to do some sewing. I want to make some time for sewing again. I always have the problem that I wish I had space for like a sewing room, because what I really don't like about sewing is that you have to put everything on the table and set everything up. And then you kind of, because obviously you most of the time need that table, you have to dismantle everything and take things down again. And it's like so time consuming. And then I end up not really doing it and grabbing my knitting in the end, because it's just more portable. And it makes me sad sometimes, because I just love to sew and I just really want to make time for it. So maybe one day, if we find a big enough apartment, I could have a sewing room. That would be so nice. That would be really nice. Well, anyhow, dreams. But the sewing patterns I got are the Wilder gown by, what are they called? Friday Pattern Co. And this is this beautiful dress that you can tie at the top, and it has different iterations. So this one is like the long version with 2 different segments, I want to say, and the bow tie in the top. However, they also feature a lot of different options that you can see here in the back. So you can have, different lengths. You can even have almost like a blouse. And I think this one in like a lightweight linen or muslin would be so nice. I have both of these kind of fabrics in my mind, and I have some in my stash actually that would work really well. The only thing that's intimidating me is making the binding, or like the kind of thing where you tie the neck, because that's what I really don't like to make in thinner fabrics. But maybe I should do it first and then it's out of the way. So I got this one, and what I really like about Friday Pattern Co. is also that they have a really nice and inclusive size range, which, is just a lovely thing to have. So yeah, so far about this pattern, and I'm really looking forward to making this. And another kind of like modular pattern, but that I also think is an incredible classic, the Chanterelle pants by Soul Liberated, and they are these super comfortable looking pants, and they have this one pattern, and you can see there are different options you can make from it, and I absolutely love it. I don't know which one to start with, but I think I do like the black one on the front. The shape of that one looks really good. And I also like the orange one with the wide leg. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure yet which one to make, but I'm in definite need of a new pair of pants for the summer, because one of my linen pants that I absolutely adored and loved started to run a little bit thin, where the thighs are rubbing. So I'm able to mend it, but I think it might be just good to have another pair that I can rotate more often, so it's not getting that much wear and thinning even further. So I thought it's nice to have another pair of pants. So yeah, that's the second pattern that I got at Ginger Twist, and I'm just really excited to start sewing again potentially. I hope to potentially take it a bit more slow in July, just because we're going to be working on the countdown calendars during that time. And yeah, that's usually when I try to avoid also having a shop update, because it's just really a lot of work. For those of you who are new here and maybe not aware of this, I run my own company called Wool and Twine Fiber Studio, where I sell hand-dyed yarn that is dyed with plant dyes. And this year I am working on a lot of things in the background that I cannot share about yet, but it's been in the making for a really long time. And there is always something going on. And for some reason, when I think there's going to be a quieter month, something else comes in. So it's like, the past months have been very tough and a lot of work, but it's all going to pay off and it's going to be lovely. And I love my work, so it's also definitely not complaining. But I'm going to do a countdown calendar one more time this year. So, and that project is always very labor intensive and requires a lot of meticulous planning. So that's going to be starting to be executed from June on. And therefore, I will at some point have 1 month where I'm not updating the shop with regular stock, just because, capacities are limited in how much I can make. And I want to focus on making the calendars then, while it's also usually a little bit slower in July anyway. So, so far, that's the little update on what's going on business-wise. I'm sorry that I'm so cryptic about projects at the moment, but there is one really big one in the background that I've been working on since last year that I cannot share for at least maybe 2 more months. Then it's going to be shared, obviously, but sorry that it's like so cryptic, but I really cannot tell you about this yet, because I'm way too afraid to be jinxing it and that there's something going wrong if I do. So not sure if there's any kind of reason behind that, but for some reason I just like to only share about things once they're actually at my doorstep and I know they cannot be delayed any further or something. Because, working with natural products, it can be a bit unpredictable sometimes. Let's put it that way. But yeah, let me know if you're interested in these kind of business updates or if it's like boring to you and you would just like to hear about my crafts. Because I'm always like trying to navigate where to go with my podcast. I'm kind of like, I think I say this oftentimes that I'm a little bit unsure where to go sometimes and where to shift my focus to when it comes to my podcast. So any feedback is always greatly appreciated. And I guess that is it for today's little short update, a bit of a shorter episode this time that I hope you still enjoy. And thank you so much for watching if you stayed until the end. And I guess see you in the next one. And until then, I wish you happy knitting. Bye.